Your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro. Boy, I from Baytown, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand.
Good night, Bahamas, and welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm your host, Valentino Brown, a.k.a. Scrooge, or Scroogey, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres on this wonderful station every Friday at 6:30 to 9 p.m., except holidays. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. And you can text us at 422-396. And like I said, I am really appreciative of all of the compliments I get from around the country and from around the world, from so many people who really appreciate my honesty. People respect me because they know I'm a fair person. They know I'm a person who really care about the country. I'm not a biased person, okay? I'm one of the most honest person that you could possibly meet because I pride myself on trying to make myself a better person than I was the previous day. Because I want to excel, because I want to see the transitioning of the third eye means that you become one with nature, where you feel it for the animals, you feel it for the human beings, you feel the suffering, and you want to help with all your power to ease some of the suffering that goes on in the lives of human beings. And that's my passion, and for me, I feel people being across the country, and that is one of the reasons I do what I do, because I just have a passion to see inside of individuals who sitting on the side of the streets, and many of the people who come to me on a daily basis and hear their cries and wanted to help them so much, but you just don't have the power to. And it drives me to get myself to become more successful as a community leader, but also as a small business owner who's looking to expand and open his business where I can help others also expand and help them gradually become business owners as well, because this is the only way I feel that we're going to be able to make an impact. So, for me as individuals, I might not know who all are listening to the show, but I just want you to know, as a citizen of the Bahamas and a citizen of the world, that if many of our leaders have the passion that some of us as citizens who really care about the nation, who would go to arm's length to assist those who they can assist, and many of us who are in position to, sometimes we want to help other individuals, but we just can't because all of our resources are dried up. So that's one of the reasons I'm continuing to improve myself and go out there and speak on the airwaves, and hope that those who are listening can see that there are honest people in the world who are not motivated by money, who's not motivated by fame, who's not motivated by pride. What we are motivated by is when people acknowledge you, You know, when I'm walking the streets and people acknowledge you, that makes me feel good. I will never acknowledge myself as an individual. I was never like that, and I never will be like that. When people exhort you and tell you you're doing a wonderful job, that makes me happy and it makes me continue to want to do the things that I'm doing, that God has given me the insight and I've understand it, and I'm using my abilities as best to interpret it, his science that he's given me, and applying it. And he gave me a lot of opportunities to go and speak to many different media outlets. And just recently, I was talking to one of my neighbors who was living in the Lewis Street area, and that's a young gentleman from Eyewitness News. He lived in Lewis Street for many, many years now. He's a news anchor and doing very, very well. And Jose Etienne, he was living through Lewis Street. In fact, me and him were the only two media guys on Lewis Street for many years. And we were like neighbors, you know. Jose Etienne, I watched him transform from just a young guy. His mom, you know, his daughter, so Christian, his mom is a Christian as well. They're separated, but I watched the development of Jose Etienne on Eyewitness News, and he would just get up every day, go to school, and then he studied, and he said he wanted to be a journalist. And he entered the field, and now look at the young gentleman. Now, we talked a few years ago about what was happening around the country concerning the gangs and what is escalating it and how and why and what. And he told me that he wanted to interview me for many, many years, but then we just never had a chance. And then for some strange reason, he was by me week before last, and I told him I'd do him the privilege of speaking on Eyewitness News. And we did an interview, and there were many people who viewed the Eyewitness News, and many people said that I said the right thing when it concerns what is going to happen to people who are involved in gangs, what is intentional, you know, death, you know, like, and et cetera, you know. And I gave a good explanation of my past experience because I was one of the guys who caused a lot of innocent persons got hurt, caused the lives of innocent gentlemen who hang with me in the inner city community when that was the thing being a gang. And, you know, like intended target. And most guys like myself who were in the gang, you know, guys like James Charles, he was the leader at that particular time. I was second in command, and I gradually grew and had my own crew within the group as time passes by, you know, and I had many, many, many guys, you know, some of the top guys around the country today who I train to become rough and tough, you know, and many of them going to take it to a whole different level, and some of them I'm going to talk about today on the show. So this show today is just to talk to the younger generation in the country and also to the females, you know, about the street life, you know, and just for all those who listen, I just want to give you a little glimpse. You heard the story of my life, but I'm going to give you a little further detail on how serious it was and how dangerous it was, even though I was a top guy on the street. Because even though I was a top guy on the street, there were other guys who were top guys on the street as well. So let me start by saying this. I'd like to say to the guys in prison, many of you listen to the show. Sometimes I get calls from guys from the prison. You know, they talk about the conditions in the prison and stuff like that. So a lot of them are listening. We have 30 guys or 40 guys who live in the Grandstand community of Lewis Street, Hay Street, and Taylor Street who are in prison. And most of them are up there for serious offenses, murder, and serious charges. Basically, all of them up there probably for murder, honestly speaking. Okay? And some other serious charges. So let me begin like this. There was a recent shooting in the Baytown area, and you know, it was on video, very disturbing, you know, but we have seen it hundreds of times in Nassau, New Providence, and on cameras and stuff like that. But it was just a fresh glimpse of how brutal, how we as citizens would inflict pain on one another, and to see, like, no remorse, you know, like turning around and going back and shooting the guy again, and his daughter's there present, and, you know, she didn't get hit because God protected her and shielded her, and those bullets passed through her, because if you look at the shooting, you can see exactly they shoot through the glass. So automatically those shots went straight past her because of her size, but because of God as well. And she was unarmed, but she's physically in trauma. I think the little girl is never going to be the same ever again in life. I think that the only way that's going to happen if she have the right counseling, and the right set of parenting, in which she has good parent. She lost her parent, and condolences to the family. And she's going to need counseling from the time now till she reach of age. She's going to need support from the church, because that is, even though she's young, and many people say as she get older, she might forget it, but you never know. But there are so many kids have suffered that same sequence where they have watched their father or their mom or their grandmother, got shot by a square away bullet that was not meant for them, intended target. It's not intended target. It's individuals who guys were looking for, who were in the same field as them. They were shooting at one another. Probably they killed one of their friends or brothers. Guys retaliate, find a way to live, follow you, drive and run in the car, like they were saying. That was the car that the previous driver was using, someone who was acquainted with, probably ST, was recognized by certain individuals who just saw the car and just wanted to inflict pain. What I want the general public to understand is that when you see these young gentlemen pick up firearms, some of them are on pills, some of them are a little tuning, like drinking. They have assault rifle, they have chip handguns, 49 millimeter. Some of their handguns probably carrying 18, that's just a regular 9 or 15. Then they have some, kind of extended clip, 27, 32, chip boy. Then you have some assault rifles like AR-15, AK-47. They have drums. Some could carry anywhere from 37, 32. Some could carry 66, and the very expensive set carry like 100 in a drum. And these guys just be hype up, and they just want to kill. So their blood is boiling, and all they want to do is see this person's face. All in their minds, they want to kill. They're playing this music. They're driving this car. They're swinging through these corners. They're all hype up. There's one main culprit in the car who is boosting up everyone. He is the leader. He telling them, look, yo, when we go for this nigga, we ain't playing, my brother. Listen to me. If anyone y'all play around this car, I'd kill you. You understand? So when we go, we ain't playing. We don't care who they are. Now, some guys would say, we only come for him. Let's just get him. But these guns nowadays, all guns, not even nowadays, all guns, you can't control the gun. And the bullet's coming out the gun, okay? Because once the gun is fired, you might think it's on your target. Bullet goes anywhere, Some of these guns are so powerful, the bullet hits you and just rips through the body and goes on for a mile, So, and then there's so much shots coming out the gun, like a Uzi, These guns are made like Uzi back in the day. The submachine gun Uzi that was banned in the U.S. because of the brutality of the firing mechanism. Shoots like 10 shots within a 5-second barrier, within a minute. So it used to tear you up. So a lot of these guns now have these drums and etc. So when they go after their targets, some of them don't intentionally go to shoot the kid. Some of them don't intentionally go to grandmother. It's just that when they're running after their target. And the target guys, for some strange reason, they just manage to get away with 100%. Sometimes they manage to get away with 75%. And then innocent people, bystanders, get shoot and kill. Okay? That's because the guys don't come there for him. And he sees them. He runs past people, and the guys are running behind him. They're not properly trained, like the police, so they open fire. They don't see the other people. They just want to get him, and they're shooting. They're shooting. And then sometimes with adrenaline going on with the guys who are shooting gun, they don't even see these people, they're in a trance, their blood is boiling, so it's like, I could try explaining because I've had it so much times. It's like, you just in a warrior mood, and you just want to get this person no matter what. And if the police pulls up and you have enough shots, you'd even return fire to the police. But you would try to get away as well. That's why you see a lot of exchange gunfire between police and individuals because their blood is boiling. They in a warrior's mode, live out. It's like the survival mode then. It's like it's the police or them or it's you or it's the guys. So I'm trying to explain it the best way I can because, like I said, I've been in it so much time over and over. So that's what happened when a lot of these guys you see go on the shooting scene. They're on pills, they're hot, their blood is boiling. And like I said, some of them don't go in intentionally to shoot the kid or to shoot the grandmother or to shoot other individuals besides the set who they are targeted to. So if someone is sitting there playing domino, okay, and they come there for them and the person runs left and they shooting the assault rifle or the handgun, people get hit like that. Most guys don't think to say we're gonna stop and think, because they're young, they have no home training, and they've been living on the streets all their lives. And for me as a young guy living in the community, because living in the community, I've never moved out. I've been a bystander of the activities that happen in my community with the various new leaders stepping up in the community. So I became a bystander. And most of them would come and talk to me sometimes and tell me their problems. And even up to this day, the guys who are still doing high-profile crimes still come to me and I talk to them and try to assist them the best way I can, but I have an understanding of what they're going through. So let me just start off by saying this. Okay. All right. People would say in the 90s is completely different from 2025. If you ask me, I think the 90s is more dangerous. But now, like I say, guys are just shooting, using guns, and some instances knives, and etc. because the country expand. I think that the young guys nowadays need to understand something. When you go there as a young individual right now, and you go there and you hurt people, okay? I just want you to know that you will get away with it right then and there. You might get away with it once, twice, or 3 times. If you don't stop before you get killed or spend a lifetime in prison, one day your life will come to an end by the sword. There's no way you're going to miss it. So this is a message to all the guys out there. Okay, you're not going to miss it, okay? You can change your life around and see the mistakes that you've made in your life and just give up with the badness thing. Give up at hurting people. Because in the end, you will get hurt. If you hurt people in a 21/7, which is Nassau, Bahamas, there's cars now. You can't hide from nobody nowadays. And then when you out there and you're doing your shooting, one day you have your girlfriend. You want to go to the shop. You want to go to the movies. You want to enjoy yourself. But you forget that you just shoot 1 or 2 people. You hurt 1 or 2 people's families. They are brothers and sisters and friends. Now you might be the baddest, okay? But you still want a life. You have a pretty girlfriend. You have a little young daughter. You have a mother, and etc. These guys who you bother with, some way down the line, they're going to find out this information. They're going to find out that you live a certain spot, drive a certain car. Okay? Then they're going to build up their mind to get you one day. Now, one of these days, you could say to yourself, I'm going to go to the grocery store with my mom or my sister, with your little cousin or something like that, and you're a top killer. But now other guys are on your trail. Now you decide not to take your gun. Or if you decide to take your gun, you're comfortable. And you still are watching out because the police are on your tail. So when you have this gun on you, you kind of a little paranoid and stuff like that. And you don't want to move around like that with the gun, even though you're driving in the car, because the police are looking for you, because they suspect you for being involved in serious crimes in the country, because you know you're going to be a target. So this is where your weakness comes in now, and this is where your downfall will come. Now, I just say you decide to say, you know what? I think I don't need to carry this gun with me. And you know, if you have your gun on you, you ain't gonna save you. Okay? So anyway, you started to travel with your family. Your family ain't doing nobody nothing, but it's you who did some people some wrong. But you ain't smart enough to not get your people involved to stay away from your family. And this is a cowardly act. And I blame a lot of guys on the streets now for their loved ones getting hurt. It's because of them and their cowardly act. You know, if you're a bad boy, why would you want to go to your mother's house or to your sister's house to bring problem to them? When you're a bad boy, you're supposed to have your apartment or your house, your cars, and you go stay by you. And you don't put no one in danger. You don't put your mother in danger. You don't put your own child in danger. You don't put your sister in danger. You know? Causing innocent people get killed because of you guys' stupidity. When you're a guy on the street, you're supposed to have everything thinked out. Do you think you go shoot at somebody and hurt somebody and kill someone's family and then go back home and chill out and throw your leg up? And it's 21/7. Everyone has someone in jail who's a bad boy. Every family has someone in their family who is someone who come from bad background. So how this supposed to work when you know you're doing foolishness and then you want to go home and chill out? And 2 to 1, you ain't even paying none of the bills inside of the house where you're so lousy. But you got to go home because you can't pay rent. Because as bad as you is, you don't have no money and no contingency plan. You still got to be hustling and asking for $5, $10 buy your drink. And you was a top killer. You think you're making any sense? Huh? But yet still in your mind you bad, but you won't put your whole family in jeopardy. Now you won't go home to your mother's house. Now these guys looking for you. Because it's the only place you could go rest your head. Then you're going to put the gun in the house. Then when you look, the police go by the house. Just say if the guys don't come to get you, the police come to search your mom's house. They search your mom's house, you get drugs and gun in your mom's house. The police got to get the whole house. Because of your stupidity. And you say you're a bad boy. But yet you put your whole family who love you before the courts. Then, when you get locked up and you come out, you're going right back home. Now you're scared to put this gun in your house because the police looking for you. Your family, a little mad with you, but they still love you. So they telling you can't bring these guns and drugs in the yard no more. So now you got to be in this yard unarmed. Now your enemies know this. They say, you know, he ain't got no gun around him now. It's a good time to get him. Because we look at your weakness. We study you. Then you look, we pull up by your house and anyone could be outside. We just won't get you. We find out you and, you know, casualties of the gang war. You could get away and cause your family to get hurt in the process. And that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. See, here's what happened. Let me just give you a real glimpse of my life. People say we was in a rock and bottle era. I don't know what they're talking about. Because living in Lewis Street, Hayes Street, and Taylor Street, every night we had shootout in the border. We used to call it the Border Boys. Okay? Every night we have shootout. Every night, every week or so, someone getting shoot. When I tell people, say, I get shoot at over 20-something times, now they believe it. But it's hard to believe that I got shot at 26 times. Okay? And I'm still here talking to you guys. Okay? So I had to explain it to you guys as best as I can. I might can't call all the names on the areas, but I'd call some of the guys' names who shot at me, who are still living today. And just to show you how serious it was back in our days. And it's still serious today. But the guys back in the days, they coming for you. They come in the night, they come in the next night, and they come in the next. They tell be in quest or someone get in. Okay? So the first time I think I got shot. No, let me tell you about the first time I saw someone got killed. Let me say the first time before I go to that part. The first time I saw someone get killed was police Corporal Butler. The first person I saw got killed. This happened in between Lewis Street and Maycock Street. We were shooting marble as a young boy. I always remember this. And there was an exchange of gunfire. We were shooting marble, and we saw the commotion. I can remember the police officers like the day. It was Pickstock, and then it was my cousin who shot Butler. He was a Brown, James Brown, and he got killed on the end of the corner of Gibbs Corner. And there was an exchange of gunfire, and Butler got shot in his head, police officer. And he dropped down dead in the front of us. And it was the first time I saw someone get killed. And I was probably about the age of 11, 12. Okay? Second person I think I got killed was from police officers. Killed this gentleman who robbed my good friend Tony Penn in the yard by Tony Penn. And there was an exchange of gunfire, and he got shot in the back with a shotgun from the police. And then he passed away as the second person. And then the third person I saw got killed, was an incident with all this in like I said, I was 12, and the second one happened when I was around 14, 15. And finishing when I was around about 18, 19, I watched my friend Douglas Johnson is deceased now. He was one of the leaders of the Border Boys as well as Arlington Butler. He was crossing Mason Edition. And then he was the leader of Mason Edition, very serious young man. He also got killed. And then it was me and someone else. And this was the birthplace of Samuel Mouche McKenzie. And he ended up killing a Haitian man through Comfort Street. I could always remember this. And then, it's like the first set of incidents. But this ain't the stopping or nothing that was going on in the community. It just was the murders that happened that I witnessed in my own eyes and stuff like that. And many more I could go on with. So, transformation to gang life. Around that time, we started to develop into a gang culture. Santana Forbes, preachers, these were brothers who started the Border Boys group. Santana Forbes, preacher, Giovanni, my cousin Kenrick, myself, I was a young guy. Me and Tana was the same age, but Tana was big time. And a few others. And that was the beginning. And then they fade out, they ruled for about 2-3 years. Then they fade out because now we're the younger generation. The younger generation is me and Chucky, Bomber, and Nelson them. So we became the second set of leaders of the Border Boys. In there, we started to establish ourselves as an organization and a strong group. And we started to war with everyone. We started to war with the Raiders, the Gun Dogs, and we started to war with everyone. So this way all the shooting came in. These were not individuals shooting at me. About, out of that 27, you could say about 13 was directly, 14 was directly at me, and the rest was like at me in a group with other guys. So let me just get to some of the stories. I have a lot of people on want to get in on the conversation, but let me just finish this real quick. So, when we started to fight with different areas, the big guys like who were running the crew, different groups were Marvin Bodie from Mason Edition. You had Lynx is second in command. You had Dickens from Mason. Then you had on the East Street, you had Barkley just had passed away. It passed on to Kelsey Lundy Scrooge. Then it was France, and then you had Plywood and stuff like that. They were the first wave. And then you had Benton, Donkey, Choo Choo, Ali, and Ben Boy, who were all dead. And then you had Andel, you had Panther, Gooey, and Randy. Then you had so many different other gangs. You had Boyer and Camp Road. But the main gangs were the Mason Edition, Rebellion Raiders, and the Border, because we would wash straight through. So my first shooting, the first shooting I got when someone tried to kill me was, let me see, I was sitting on the wall and this guy jumped off the back of a truck. You know, we were warring, I didn't know who he was, you know, and he clicked his gun at me about twice, you know, and then I turned around, and then he fired one more, and the bullet bounced and ricocheted off the fence, off on pipe, and it just ricocheted, and I was supposed to get shot in my head, but the bullet hit the side of the fence, and I was able to jump down and run in the back to get my gun. By the time he turned around and got my gun, he fired the next shot, but it didn't hit me. My second time is when Marvin Bodie and Lynx, me and Marvin Bodie had a fight on Lewis Street by the club. And I went to my friend Fred, who's now dead, Fred Williams. He got killed a few years back. He was murdered. And we had an altercation. Me ended up going to the back road. After the altercation, me and him fought. He didn't like the way I fought him because he was the big boss, you know. And tell you the truth, Marvin Bodie's number, he's still living, but he simmered down now. They came looking for me. I had my enemy rugged with me, Jewett Bear. You know, for some reason we linked up the night, and we had an exchange of gunfire. After Jewett Bear shot one guy, and then wounded the next guy, our gun ended up going empty. You know, he had a gun. I didn't have no gun. They had two guns. My friend had the gun. Marvin Bodie and a Langton Butler ran at me with 245. They ran me straight from Hayes Creek, straight into Bummer, grandmother, back door. And I can tell you this, if you all know anything but 405, 245, Marvin Bodie still living today. And that's like 18 shots. I don't know how much those 405 is carrying. They probably is carrying anywhere between 12 shots, but them shots big as your finger. You know, and they ran me, and it was like daylight. My second time, my third time is when some guys from Fowler Street, the Sales Brothers, they're from Fowler Street. They was carrying my friend Nelson. I went to investigate because we didn't know who they were. They had a 25 pistol with 3 or 4 different magazines. This is a small caliber gun. As soon as they reached by the wall, they fired about 4 shots at me. They jumped over the wall, fired about 7 more shots at me. So I was running, going across the park. They changed cliff again, because, you know, I wasn't really running from the gun because it was a little small caliber gun. I wasn't really running from gunshot. People I never used to hardly run from gunshot. Anyone can tell you this, okay? We were more like immune because we have been in so much gun foo that we were immune to it. So, and that day, he fired at me with 14 shots. We were fighting with some raiders down on the East Street on Thursday. The guy who shot me this particular day, His name is Mali. He's rebelling raiders. He's in Freeport now. We had a altercation. We shot one of the guys through Thompson Lane. We went through Thompson Lane, going to our enemy's turf. We shot this guy through Thompson Lane. And when we shot him, we kind of like we big and we Bobby's walking back out from through Thompson Lane. This guy came at me, Mali man, and he shot me with a shotgun, but it was loaded buck pellet. If anyone know what I'm talking about on the streets, we used to load our shotgun with 8 pellets twice. That's a 12 gauge. Then we loaded with a buck, which is big as the finger. The pellets is the scatter, like for group. So I picked up must be about 20, 30 pellets. He fired the buck with the police on the corner, and the police was right there by the red light, big one. He missed me. He fired again and catch me again, knocked me on the ground. I ended up breaking up the door by the. There was a pressing started press close on the end of Gibbs and Ross corner. I ended up breaking down the door. And the same particular day, after that, twice with a shotgun, I was approached again by a next guy by the name of Franz Pascal, who tried to shoot me in my head with a 9mm after I got shot, because I still was on the ground trying to recover from all the pellets in me. So he came over me and my friend Ganzi and fired and tried to shoot me in my head. Then we ran because he was behind me. I lost him for about a few seconds. We ended up on Taylor Street. My cousin Chicken, who was hiding on the side of the house, I was walking, trying to catch myself because I was trying to pick out all the pellets out of me because I was real bloody. All kind of holes was inside me. So when the turn ran, this guy named Franz, he was second in charge of the Raiders. He came at me with his 9mm, and this was like standard animation, and he just started firing in the road at me. And just the longest run I ever had in my life. This was like the Matrix. And he just keep on firing at me. He fired about 15 shells at me. About the 10th one, when he's firing at me, all about it just grazing me, bouncing off the ground, grazing my shirt. My cousin Chicken was running straight up. I watched him pick a shot up in his back. He dropped on the ground. Because he gets shooting his back, Chicken. He's right on around the corner. Mario Seymour, he works for government. He dropped on the ground. As I was running, he was in front of me, so I had to pick him up, slow down, pick him up. Franz still was shooting at me, so I had to drop him and run on the side, and then Franz gun going empty. So I could go on then. Former Minister of the Free National Movement, Campbell, and former Assistant Superintendent, Alacup. We just going to stash our gun. And at the same time, Alacup and Campbell was a minister of the Free National Movement. You all know Campbell, he was a CID officer. We was making our little move with our little 9mm, getting ready to plot some guys, who was, who we was planning to go on, So as we approached, we startled Campbell. And Campbell saw us with the firearm, and he just opened fire, So he opened fire with a Uzi. That was about 30-something shots that were fired in the direction of us. And I could go on and on. And then this time, my cousin Tyen, again, this is why I say it's supposed to be dead. I can lay all callers coming right now. And my cousin Tyen, we had a misunderstanding. He took my .38 pistol that we took from some gang rivals who tried to shoot me on East Street. He took my gun from my cousin Julian, who's now deceased. And he take it and he put it in the belly. He pulled the trigger 3 times, people. 38. But it was my gun. And I let my cousin Julian, who's now deceased, use the gun. But there was a dispute. And everyone knew I saw that. And my cousin Tyen take the same .38 pistol, put it to my belly and press the trigger 3 times. And that's why I say, no one can tell me about God. No pastor, nobody. Press the trigger 3 times. Now listen to this, people. When he pressed the gun 3 times, he walked off because he looked at the gun, thought the gun wasn't working. And when he put the gun up in there for the 4th shot, the gun went off. The same gun again. People, listen to me. The same gun again. My friend Sonny, he's now deceased, but he didn't get killed. He ended up in a Traffic accident with a tractor roll over him. We were in the back of the yard going to make a move. He asked me to see the gun. I gave him the gun. And when I gave him the gun, I opened the barrel of the gun, show him the bullets in the gun to make sure that he don't skylark with the gun. I was talking to the rest of the guys. And while I was talking to the rest of the guys, the Spirit of the Lord tell me, say, Scoochie, turn your head. And I was like, turn my head. The minute I turned my head, the barrel's on the side of my head, and the guy pressed the trigger. He blinded me for about 5 seconds, people. Okay? And the gun went off, and the bullet boys a big hole in the wall. Okay? Yes. So I just want to say something to the guys out there. Okay, I'm going to let these 2 callers get in if they're making any sense, because I really want to talk about this and show them the consequences of their actions. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside in the City.
Hello.
Hey, good night, good night.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Scrooge.
What's up?
Hello, Scrooge?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hey, Sparky here, good buddy.
Hey, I'm listening. Go ahead.
You know, Scrooge, sometimes when I listen to you on Friday evening and remember the days before your days, when we only, at my time, we'd only gone up to maybe some grass and stuff. We weren't into the guns and all of that type of stuff then until Freeport started becoming a magic city. And Freeport went wild with drugs and heavy and drugs and stuff. Marijuana was our big word in New Providence. We sat on the block. We baby just smoke marijuana and police cars come and run us down. Then only the CIDs had guns. Policemen on the street didn't have no gun. They had a little baton in their pocket, which we refer to as a billy. That's what they hit you with or beat you with when they surround you and stuff like that. And how you talk about drugs and guns and being shot and think now on a Friday evening talk show, it sounds so casual that it really amazes me how time has changed, how you talk about it so casual, about you being shot 4, 5, 6 times. If you listen to me from an older person, then the good book you talk about now that you were supposed to be waking under, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. And now I become a man, I put away all childish things. You remember that?
Yeah.
You remember hearing that, right?
Uh-huh.
I think all of us grew up, our parents sending us to Sunday school. All of us had the opportunity to get a good education and a good religious upbringing. But some of us were on the wayside. Some of us now, we try to prove to ourselves how big and bad and bully he is.
Mm-hmm.
And telling the story about I've been shot 5 times. So I was a bad man. Yeah, right. Until the funny cars come around now. There's coming the funny cars now.
Yes, sir.
Little small, what they did?
The cubes.
You hear it after every crime.
The cubes.
A little small foreign car with dark tinted lid pulled up. 3 men came out and loaded up the area. After every crime, you had us in the story.
Yes, sir.
3 men came out.
Yes,
they
sir.
did only come out now. They come up on your porch.
Mm-hmm.
Where mommy and Grammy sitting with a little 4-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
We had that nearly every night.
Yes, sir.
Every day in a little island, 21/7.
Yes, sir.
And most of the time, guess what? Where do the police be living? Don't the police be living to that same corner?
The police living to the corner, but you know who run the communities now? Kids run the communities. There's no responsible
No,
adults.
listen here.
No, listen,
Listen
let me just say this. The inner city communities right now don't have no spiritual leaders. And they don't have no leaders in these inner city communities, but a few who are doing their best that they can. These communities right now are run by teenagers. If you be on the streets at 8 o'clock, all you see on the road is teenagers and kids. That's what happened to our country.
I agree. That's why then one time, like I was telling you, then in the evenings after we knock off from work, we go stand on the blocks with the guys on the side of somebody else on the edge of the corner.
Yes, sir.
Like where the Birdland is and the hideout was, along Mount Royal Avenue, from Wolf Road by Cleso, over to Hawkins Hill, down by Sammy Isaac Place, Hawkins Hill and Shirley Street. We had about 9 different blocks.
Yes, sir.
Every other 2 corners was a couple guys there.
Well, right
And
now,
like I say, all we doing is smoking a joint and maybe drinking Heineken beer.
Well, right now, you get hundreds of kids in Benton, Camp Road, Fox Hill, Angliston, right now, in abandoned houses, doing what they want without no parental guidance or no one to teach them what's right or what's wrong. And that's the biggest thing we're going in our country. That's why these same youngsters right now, the females right now, are doing what they want. And that's why the teenagers, young boys, are doing what they want right now. Because why? They're not getting no leadership in this country.
Not any schools. Not any schools. But I can tell you, I can tell the nation, and you would say, yes, Marky, right. The police know where everything is.
Yeah, they might know where everything is, but they can't do.
The police know
Yes.
where everything is good.
Yeah.
They know which blocks. They know which is the big boy on through this corner.
Yes.
Because most of the time, the police live through the same corner.
Yeah, that's true, Sparky, but this past the beliefs now, man. This about the individuals right now, Sparky, who ain't care about no beliefs, Sparky. This about survival. When people in survival mode, boy, they could care less about no beliefs, Sparky.
But Scrooge, what are we going to do?
We have to invest in small business and build homes and invest in the people. That's all it is. Have the parks utilized all year round, empower people the best we can and go around and fix houses and go around and just talk to people and help people. That's all we can do.
Yeah, but the thing is, Scrooge, the politicians, they're telling everybody, but they can build homes. They can build 20 here. They can be 20 here. Then we need thousands. But the politician think he might only be there for 5 years.
Yeah, that's why we need continuous
Most
plan.
of the time, Scrooge,
But anyway,
he think he might only make it 5 years. So he tried to build a house by Westport, Old Fort Bay, before they throw him out.
because the struggle never changes. We need a 20-year plan where we stick to it, where no one can interfere, where we say we're going to continue to support small businesses, we're going to continue to support housing, urban renewal to its fullest, support community leaders, get the banks to work with individuals over the hill to give them loans and for them to own, rent to own and make it easier for people in the country right now. But anyway, Sparky, we have a couple...
Before I go, you know me and you can talk. We can talk for months.
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. Banks ain't lending nobody no money. Banks sending the money back to Canada.
We only...
Let me tell you, the best you might get from the bank is for $6,000 to buy one second-hand car from Japan, what might last you 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. But I say that's if we want to change things, then we're going to make it the bank accessible for people to own small homes.
If the bank lend you enough money to buy your property, by the time you pay off for the property loan, how old do you think you'll be when you pay off to build a house?
Okay, but anyway, again, next call, I want to get this quick, so I want to finish the conversation, because I want to send this message real quick. Thanks, man, Sparky. You did a wonderful job. We can take this next call real quick, please, if you could.
Hey, Scrooge.
Hey, good night. How you doing, brother?
What's happening?
Yeah, I think good night.
All right, and good night to you, listeners. Scrooge,
Hey.
tell me something. Not really solution, but idea. Any idea could come from you, knowing that you...
You mean concerning the country is with crime?
Not just crime, but I mean, what idea you will tell us or you think we need to concentrate on when it comes down to the people who helping to bring the guns in, right?
Yeah,
Who bring in the guns into the
it's just
country,
simple.
right?
Lifetime in prison. That's simple as that.
Lifetime?
Lifetime or
You think
25
that will
years.
discourage them?
Yeah, if you get lifetime, that means if you get catch smuggling the guns, what you think is going to happen?
Ain't nothing a little harsher than that. We could maybe really... I'm talking about really discouraging them, because some people, they get a good... I don't know if to say if they get a good lawyer and then lifetime is changed from... If you say 25 years or 30 years, or you say the rest of your life, you got to mean it. You got to really put it down in writing, you know?
Yeah.
You got to discourage them.
Yeah.
What about the person who buying the gun, young or old, buy the gun for whatsoever reason, protection, want to hurt somebody, want to do something?
That's a good question.
Like how you say lifetime. What could we put there to discourage them from from
Well-
all these people who have guns them right now?
Well, the first thing we got to do is show them the consequences
Yeah.
of using the gun first. We got to let you know that if you use a gun and hurt somebody first, it's a penalty, but most importantly, that it's going to be repercussion. You know that it's retaliation, that if you go there and you hurt someone's family, there's a likely chance that you would be killed yourself.
Scrooge, we have laws right now. You used to be on the streets, on the blocks and stuff, right? You hear people, right?
Yes.
I mean, and we have laws right now, and people still doing it. Have guns
Listen,
and different
it's
things.
struggle. It's a struggle. Listen.
I mean, and anything else you could tell them to scare them? Anything else different from what they're now?
I don't think no.
I mean, just to discourage them. Discourage them.
Like I was gonna, like, when I have to finish the show, I was gonna discourage them. That's why I was talking about how many times I got shot at and how you're gonna end up, because I'm gonna name some guys like in the community who I live with for many years, like Mouge, like Ronald Bowman Pratt, like Don Pratt, like Ewell Pender, Ewell Smith, who was Mouge brothers, all brothers gone. There's only but two of us who were leading the gang who are still living today, and that's James Charles and myself, who were leaders. Everyone else in their grave, dead.
So everyone who out there who get the guns them and who ain't dead like those fellas you talking, but hurting people and doing things.
They time come in. I ain't put no more on them.
No, we ain't putting no more on them.
But
But anything the government could tell them to scare them, to discourage them, to make them think another way. Listen, I agree that it's more the government, authorities, us as a country, as a people, caring, could do to help our brothers and sisters, young and old, especially the young people growing up. Show them it's a different way.
It's a different way.
It's a different way they could go. I
It's a
talk about
different way.
paying them right. See, they say, why can't I pay work for minimum wage when I can make $500 a week selling the guy half bikes or whatever, you know?
Yes.
So we got to show them it's a better way, and we got to step up to the plate.
Yes, we have to show them a better
step
way.
up to the plate and do all these things. But I was wondering, like, for the set, you think if you were to say something, you think that'll discourage them if they know if the police catch them with a gun, the police have the rights to shoot them dead? You think that'll discourage them?
These guys done harden, man. These guys done harden, man.
You
You
get
wasting
to
your
the part
time.
where I won't get at
They
now.
harden, man. You know
Yeah,
what?
I think we have a spiritual war going
Yeah,
on.
man. The guys them harden. Some of these guys can get shoot 4 or 5 times and
Yeah.
still ain't change, man. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I've been shot at over 20 sometimes. Let me explain it. And I had to catch myself after.
spiritually,
you
you
understand?
catch yourself.
I had to catch myself.
Yeah, there's a spiritual war we're
Yes.
getting on. I think Jesus is the answer for this.
Yes.
Only Jesus could be able to help us. You can't just, I mean, we could do everything. I think we're doing a lot now, and it's more that we could do and we need to do.
Yes.
But I think unless they open up and warn the help,
Yeah.
and Jesus is the answer for everything.
A lot of them
There's
want.
all the hurt and the pain what
Yes.
they going through, why they feel they got to pick up the gun,
Yeah.
and why they got to go hunt someone else, or why they feel like they need this money
Yes.
right now and they can't wait or go by the sweat of their eyebrow
Yes.
to get it.
Yes.
Jesus is the answer for it.
Yes.
Tell me something, like I asked you to be on the strips and stuff. They get one concert coming up soon, right?
Why
Next week
cartel?
start there, I believe. So what they saying about it? I mean, the guy, he been in jail for about 10 years now. I think he ran a case.
Yeah.
He appealed it and ran a case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'd be performing. What are they saying? I mean, I know with 10 years ago, his music was romping and carrying on bad. I know if he's still romping and carrying on bad.
Well-
People have the time for that. I mean, and all the crime going on and stuff. The young people still crazy to go to a wide cartel concert or something.
The country's
People crazy for it.
the country's born. He's an international artist, and most definitely most young people will go to his music. But recently in Jamaica, you listen to me telling people put down the gun. He's telling you do certain positive things now. You know, if you listen to his talks, what he's doing right now, he's talking positive. So people change. You know, so I think that he means well now. You know, a guy like that. You know.
Get a second chance.
Yeah, he gets a second chance, man. So he look like he changed, you know. Like you got to give him a chance, you know. I mean, like if you listen to him, what he's doing in Jamaica now, he's helping a lot of artists, but he's also talking about peace and love, and you know. So that's a step in the right
Like I
direction.
heard a little video with him and his son singing a song.
Yeah,
together.
you know.
You heard a video with him and his son singing?
Yeah, he sings some bad stuff. Eh?
Him and his son, him and his little boy was singing
Yeah.
together.
I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I catch one little piece with
Yeah,
that.
you have a young-
I just was wondering if they still crazy for the artists and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I don't want to know if he'd change up his tones and stuff. You say
Yeah.
he's talking positive
Yeah,
now.
he's talking positive now, man. You know, because guys like that who have that experience now know that God has come in their lives now. And they want to do good. You know, They put it down. Some guys just put it down. If you don't put it down, you will get put down.
Yeah.
You think
I
of?
agree.
Let me ask you a question.
So Scrooge, you think the solution is not legalizing, but allowing law-abiding citizens, not the business people and homeowners, to carry handguns, like to have a license. I think they doing something like that now, right? But you think that could help anything? I mean, because you think all us having guns could help? How do we get guns out these people's hands? Who have it? Who hurting people?
Look at Florida. Them having guns is make it in a gun city. For us, like again, I don't mind the owners having guns because you have guys who are at-risk guys coming at you for what you want. But again, you have to defend yourself as a business owner. So if the government want to give them business owners and certain household firearms, and as long as they're responsible, there's nothing wrong with it because some of them can save lives. Some of these young men like have demonic spirit inside them. So sometimes the only way to get rid of some of them is to, not saying, oh, don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. If people come and take other people's lives, then people got to defend themselves, and that's probably why they have the fire on them to take people out who don't have no good intention. Again, these young person who coming at people were denied access here in the country, and they made bad decision. The country failed to help them develop their character skills. Fail in the poverty. When I'm saying that in the city community right now, there are no bunch of leaders. There are no millionaires. There are no teachers like that who are really putting the effort into developing the inner city kids right now on the streets in these particular areas right now without no leadership. Doing what they want, having sex, smoking, and and the only thing they're waiting on now is around 8, 9, or 10, or 11 o'clock to go home and eat, and then they right back again, go to school. Before they go to school, most of the kids are smoking dope. Let me just tell you this. If you do a blood test on most of the kids right now in the schools, in the junior high schools right now, a lot of them are on marijuana.
So you think they should do a drug test?
Yeah, they should. And then this is what you know that you have a health care problem in the country. A lot of kids stopping on the streets early in the morning, going to school around 9:30 in the morning, and a lot of them are smoking dope, walking in the road with their joints in their hands, and all I can do is just look at myself and say, "Oh Lord, look here we go."
You gotta find their parents, Scrooge.
Yeah.
You gotta find their parents. Scrooge, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Scrooge, you think they too young? You think it's ever? I mean, in one life loss is too much, right?
Yeah.
And like you mentioned just now, some of these people didn't get the help they need.
A lot of people.
15, 14, 13-year-old, oh Lord, 13. 15, 14 with a gun.
That is.
With a gun, maybe going to attack or maybe crazy enough to shoot at the police. You think it's fair for the police to shoot that little child?
What you want the police to do? I'm not saying take no one life. What you want the police to do if the guy has a gun? You can't worry if he's 15. I mean, they might talk him down. It depends on how the situation is. But if he is fine at the police, what you want the police to do?
Shoot him in the hand or something.
Yeah, they could do that. That's a good recommendation.
Yeah, shoot him in the foot or something.
Yes, but it's hard to make a decision like that when you see this guy have a firearm.
And you won't go home to your family.
And you won't go home to your family. No, that's a hard call. That's a hard call. That's a hard call right there to make. That's a hard call. That's a split-second decision. You don't know what's going on. You don't know how the person. It's a hard decision.
I used to believe like when you robbing and you thieving, if you get shoot, the law allowed that. But I understand it now when I listen to these news reports and the court cases and stuff. Some of these people getting shoot without a gun in their hand, who ain't running from the police.
Well, we know
they're thieving and stuff, but they ain't getting no gun, and they getting head shot.
Well, now in those cases, we all know if we look, some of the things we were saying about the Royal Bahamas Police Force is true. So some of these things are actually true. What you were talking about right now, where these individuals didn't have no gun, gun was planted on them. That is true. We can all say that's true. That's it. You know why is that?
They taught the person had a gun.
You know why is that?
The person was robbing or thieving, and
you know why is that? Let me tell you why is that. The people that are thieving and robbing, right? Even though they had choices to make, right? But they chose that choice. But the way how they grew up in these inner city communities with the lack of opportunities made them in the type of individual. No excuse, but I'm just telling you what happens when we don't have the proper equipment, like the educational centers, and you know what I mean? Because
so how do you help that individual? By the sentence should be just rehabilitation, trying to evaluate. We
gotta be preventative before that. I mean, we gotta make sure that these communities are taken. We gotta get them before they turn into the life of crime. You understand? Before that. I'm talking about investing in the communities, in the homes, bringing the family structure back, making sure that we have a strong community where we have all assets. We have the church, we have business owners who are turning into thousandaires, millionaires. We have people who work in different fields and government coming in. We have different persons from the Ministry of Education or persons in the community who are trained in physical education, basketball and stuff that they utilize and come and be a part of the community on a regular basis, training 65 days of the year, along with small business and housing development in the city community. That's the only way. Major investment in Camp Road, major investment in Angleton, major investment in being in Grandstand. Like I'm always saying this, I think that the MPs in the country right now should not be getting $150,000 for a community that has over 50,000 or 40,000 individuals living in their community, because it's a slap in the face. That's where it needs to start from. I think that each MP in each constituency should have over $1 million so that they could be able to support different programs from different community leaders in the inner city community. It's a slap in our face, and I'm saying this to the Prime Minister, I'm saying this to the opposition leaders. This is disrespect to the Bahamian public. We're giving MPs $150,000 when we're giving senior police officers contract for $800,000 a year. And in 3 years, they're making close to $3 million. Now, I ain't saying...
You mean on the table, not under the table.
On the table.
On the table.
On the table. So how is that? How is that we can invest in one individual who's getting more than the whole community? It doesn't make sense, and that's the problem. That's why we have this serious problem. We need to invest the money where it needs to be invested, and we need to invest the money in the people now.
I think we can have to adopt some of them children too, because some of them parents, they children themselves.
Yes. Well, anyway, I get a lot of callers. I give it 2
Keep
more
up the
calls.
good work, Scrooge.
Thanks very much.
Right.
We're going to take 2 calls quick. I want to get back to the topic, but, callers are calling, so I want to let them update in 2 minutes. Go ahead, caller. Sorry for interrupting. You still there, caller? They left? We have a next caller there?
Hello?
Yeah, good night.
Hey, what's going on, Scrooge?
Yeah, good night. Good night to you.
All right. Good night and good evening to the nation. Very interesting topic, Scrooge. I hear you. I tuned in maybe about half an hour ago. I'm hearing you call a lot of names that I know as well. And, something that pops out in my mind amongst 1 or 2 other things, which I'll get to quickly so we can get back to your discussion.
Yes, sir. Antoine.
Is a lot of the persons whose names you call, we all went to the same school, right? All live in the same communities, just a stretch across from each other, right? All know each other, right? And yet still, this gang culture was able to creep in and create that separation where you end up fighting against each other, right? This is a strange phenomenon, Scrooge, where persons in one community you expect to join your gang, and due to loyalties and friendships, they find themselves in another gang completely different from the community that they reside in, right? A lot of the names that you call, in particular Julian, right? Who he was a classmate of mine, a good friend of mine, growing up, right? You there, Scrooge?
Yes, I'm listening, Antoine.
And we Mouche as well, good friend,
yes,
very good friend of mine growing up, right? And when you look back at where we were as younger youths in the country, right? And you look at the circumstances emanating from the home, right?
Yes, sir.
Where there was a lack maybe of guidance and oversight, because mommy perhaps had to be out there working hard in order to keep some bills paid in the home. And it allowed for kids to get into mischief growing up, right?
Yes.
Although in 1 or 2 cases, some of our youth were always just bad children. Right?
Some were just bad. Some were just naturally bad. You know that.
Some was just bad.
Just
right?
bad.
And Sammy was one of them.
Yes,
no question with it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
God rest their souls, right? However, getting into what I really wanted to say, right? I mean, a lot of them are passed on, murdered or in jail or on the run or whatever the case may be, right? And at the end of the day, Scrooge, it comes down to a great degree to personal responsibility,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Even in the worst of circumstances.
Yes.
Even in the worst of circumstances, it still comes down to personal responsibility, right?
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, as you know, there was always a proliferation of drugs in this country.
A
right?
lot.
What we didn't have back in the day, in particular when we were growing up, was a proliferation of guns. right?
Yes. It's
Only
coming in
one or
slow.
two people had the gun.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But perhaps a decade, 15, 20 years ago, this proliferation of guns hit the country, in addition to the proliferation of drugs.
Yes, because
Right?
poverty,
Which-
because of poverty. Good.
And hold on, but not only because of that. I can
Go
bring
ahead,
that
go
in
ahead.
right now.
Go ahead.
And then added on top of that, right? A worsening and widening gap of poverty
Right.
in the over the hill community.
Right.
Which is deepened the problem and worsened the problem
Yes.
of crime amongst those in that lifestyle, right?
Yes.
And so it's almost like we remanufactured what it means to be criminally minded in the country, right?
That's right.
And when you look at where we used to be, and some of us who made better decisions about the things that we want for our current and our future, and chose to walk that different path, at some point, we have youths in the country who don't care to walk no other path.
That's right.
They are committed to the life of crime and killing.
Yes.
And
yes.
they are in it until the end.
Yes.
Either they kill you or you kill them.
Yes.
Right? And so looking at it from that perspective, Scrooge, crime will always be amongst us, no matter where you are in the world.
Yes.
Right? Crime will always be amongst us, right?
Yes, sir.
And so the government has a hard task,
Mhm.
but it cannot defeat nor achieve success over crime in and of itself. It needs the community
Yes.
in order to successfully challenge and tackle crime.
Yes.
It cannot do it without the community.
That's what
it
I'm
cannot
preaching.
do it without, as you very well know, Scrooge, most of the homes in this country are led by who, Scrooge?
Females.
Females. We
Yep.
need the mothers, them.
That's why I said earlier, if you go on the streets right now, you would see kids on the road, males and females, and their mom is at home. The kids are on the streets, and the fathers is invisible right now.
We need the fathers, them to get involved. But as it stands, the mothers, them running the homes. And so, Scrooge,
and they
back in
can't
our
handle it.
day, hey, Scrooge,
Hey,
back in our day, Grammy, them,
which is the randos.
used to help the save us, right?
Yes, yes.
Grammy them could have reached out to you, and when Grammy them slap you in the back of the head, you listen to what Grammy them say.
No
right?
back talk. No back talk.
Ain't no back talking. But nowadays, Scrooge,
Ain't none of that
these
happening.
mothers them, some of the mothers them they can't talk. If they dare try to reach and slap their little child in the back of the head, their child ready to rise up against them.
That's right. And that's why the community is so important. Because the
Yes,
child respects
yes.
somebody
And so-
in the community where you could get a response from the child. Right,
Boy,
my brother?
hey.
That's right.
Good. I get. So you can get back to your
Okay,
topic, right?
Yeah.
But let me end with this.
Anton.
Scrooge, right? The government has a lot. See, while the government can't do it in and of itself, the government still isn't doing all it can.
No, they're not doing. They ain't even doing a
As
fraction.
the government entity,
They ain't even
it's
doing a
still not-
fraction.
huh?
They ain't even doing a fraction.
It's still not doing all it can
No.
as you always reach out and cry out and speak to, because you come from that, right? I come from that too. I
Yes,
know
sir.
it. I know it.
And you pass around, Antoine. I'm going to ask you a question. You was right around
Yeah.
there in the city. What you seeing right now on the road right now? You want to see kids all around walking the streets with no leadership right now, all in the streets?
Scrooge, the youths them
They
are
run the
walking
streets.
around. The youth, you know. Let me end with this right there, Scrooge.
Go ahead.
But that same question just reminded me of something I wanted to add in this, right? Back in the day when I was playing high school basketball, right, Scrooge?
Yes, sir.
We had a championship team, Scrooge, that were undefeated for 3 years.
Wow.
We had a crazy team, right? Superstars, bunch of superstars, right? And guess what, Scrooge?
Hey.
99% of the fellas on the team was smoking drugs, right? Now, I was never influenced by that, right, Scrooge?
Yeah.
Right? And I guess some people thought I was crazy back then too, but nonetheless, Scrooge, they were smoking drugs so that they could go on the court and be able to face the competitor and dominate them without any jitters or any fear.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Scrooge, these fellas smoking drugs so that they can get high and kill you. The government has a lot of intervention to make
Yes,
if
sir.
it is going to see a dent in crime. Yes, the community has the responsibility.
Yes.
But once you step outside your home, The government has the ultimate responsibility,
Make safe
and it
communities.
is not going to happen without the government investing in the right set of people
That's
to
right.
help them to make the change at the community level. The right, I repeat it, Scrooge,
Yes.
the right set of people have to be utilized to help the government to reach these youths. These youths don't respect these political leaders.
No.
They respect people in the community who they know, then bend that path
Yes.
and then rise up out of that path, and who can help to guide them, or at least at minimum,
Yes.
who they would be prepared to sit down and listen to. There ain't no politicians, Scrooge.
Yeah.
The government has to be wise, even in governance, even beyond crime, and
Yeah.
put the right people in the right places to help it to achieve its end objective. Continue the good work, my brother.
Yeah,
God
man.
bless.
Thank you, man, Anton. That was a mouthful, and he's telling you the truth. And I just want to get real back to the guys on the streets. Listen, you guys out there, listen to me. You could run the streets for a little while, but you could be a goner. Everyone who's a top dog, let me name some of the guys, okay? My friend JP, who got killed in Freeport. He was a top dog in Freeport. He got killed. His cousin Chump, everyone know, Punch, who said he couldn't who said he couldn't dead. You see, he got headshot in Freeport. All the guys who you saw got killed in Freeport and stuff like that were guys who left from here now, so no problem. Some of the top guys in the country. Y'all remember Ian Ari, who was a top gangster in the country? What happened? What happened to him? No disrespect to his family. I'm just using it as an illustration. All right, and he was the top dog in the country, one of the top dogs in the country. Moshe was one of the top dogs in the country. So who you think you guys are? Huh? I told you I'd been get shot at 20-something times, and that's when I catch myself, at the last one. And I say, boy, if I keep this up, there's a young boy out there growing in his mother's womb, and if I don't take my time, I believe my head rating, that child could be for me. You know why? Because I recognize all the deaths around me. Okay? I recognize all the deaths around me. And that's when I decided to make my choice. And what I did, I got rid of company. Okay? Because I found with my friends, my friends didn't like me. Because we fighting over who's the baddest now. You understand? We fighting on who was the baddest now. Huh? My own friends try to take me out. And that's when I get out of that gang thing. When your friends could betray you. Okay? Your friends, people, could betray you. So you ain't gonna win. So all the guys out there who doing foolishness out there, you could go from Tang Dog, you could go to your boy, Armor Boy, Heads and Nassau Village, Fire and Theft, Stephen Dye Stubbs. I found out we his cousins, and we was arch rivals, and you get to find out his family. He is serving 35 years in prison, and he's one of the top guys in the country. Is this how your life want to end? To all the guys from around in Hay Street and Lewis Street and Taylor Street who are on these serious charges, you guys want to come back on the streets to continue the life y'all live, and y'all know that you're going to end up getting killed on the road. That's the life you want to take. You take a few lives in your lifetime, and if you keep it up, my brother, you're gone. Huh? You're gone. You can't see that. You guys need to recognize, let some things be. There's a better life out there for you, for your daughter, for your son, all y'all who have children who's bad boys and stuff like that. What you think is gonna happen when you ride around in your car with your mom and your brothers and sisters? Just the way how you creep on somebody and you see them and you shoot them up in the car with their children, you and your friends go and laugh on the side, oh, you said we get them and blah, blah, blah. What makes you think ain't gonna happen to you? What goes around comes around. What makes you think it ain't gonna happen to you? What's so special about you? There ain't nothing special about you. I tell you, I've been a bystander. I can name some of the most dangerous of the guys who changed their life. I give one of them boy, Elroy Bryce, for a prime example. There's the next generation of border boys who trying to mad ass. All right? Okay? And I used to talk to these guys on a regular basis, and some of them changed their lives and become productive citizens. And some of these guys were some of the most dangerous set of guys in the country. And all went to jail. And who went to jail got shot. And all of us who was top guys on the streets, all of us got shot. I was the only one who was never sentenced in prison. With all the border boys, I'm the only one who never get sentenced. Rough guys like Timothy Cole, all of them was border boys who in prison now. You understand? That's the life you guys want to live? Huh? And if you doing badness, don't go to your mother house. Don't go to your sister's house. All right? Don't let no one be in the car with you. You don't forget your little baby. Don't even let your little baby ride with you because you're talking this old, right? You say it's a bad boy, so be by yourself. Don't go by your mother's, don't go by your aunties, don't go by your cousins because guys can follow you and they want to kill you. But you trying to look for a place to hide, so you're going to a place where you're going to put your family in danger. You a bad boy? Listen, I want to say this to all the bad boys out there. Don't go by your mother's house. Don't borrow the one car and then listen, people, listen good. All right? Listen good. If you have a brother, based on what you seeing going on in the country now, would you let him your car knowing you got to take your daughter to school the very next day and you seeing what happened when guys know someone in your car, they ain't even trying to see who in your car. The car become a target. And they shoot up the whole car. And of course your little daughter or your mother or your sister get killed because of this person's stupidity. I always tell you, a bad boy have a plan and he's supposed to have money. He can't be living in his mother's house. He can't be living in his sister's house. He got to have his own place of harmony for him to suffer the consequences that is about to come on him. There ain't no bad. There's only a few bad boys today who still living today, like Marvin Bodie. You got Kelsey Lundy, Scrooge from down East Street. It's very good. These are good senior guys now, and they do good for their community. Marvin Bodie, as crooked as he is, okay, and I tell you this is the worst criminal in Nassau. Listen to me. Trust me. The chief, from our time, he was one of the roughest, but he changed now. But I go on to heal him about 3 months ago, him and my friend Blipper. And I go on to heal Bodie. You know what Bodie doing? He giving all the kids money. You get about 50 to 100 kids who, the bad guy. But all the kids coming to him and asking them for lunch. Hey, Chris, and asking them for lunch, for school. And Bodie is sitting on the right now every day. Bodie right there on that step right there. And he giving the kids money every day. Every day. And he getting me a little $5, And I talk about 50, 60 kids every day. And these were the bottom set of people, but everyone have a heart. And all these play an important role in our community. Me, I do the same thing on a regular basis. I have people come to me every day. And me and Rich, we struggling, but we live in the community. And we want the community to do good. So let me say you guys, you ain't gonna make it. All my friends got killed. All the guys who were top gangsters. And I'm gonna let the callers come in right now. 3 of the guys who got killed with the first shooting, with the 3 individuals in Fox Hill. That was my good friend, Tony Smith. Jamal Smith was his son, one who was killed with the police incident. And they said he was shot on the ground 3 times. He was one of the leaders. Now, like I say, condolences to the family again. I don't mean to pry on my friend Tony Penn, right? And I know his wife, Jency. I know Molly from a little boy. And they come up and they need us. But I mean, and everyone have a little rough past. But that's just a prime example. Those 3 were basically from Hayes Street. Then the next street, Spider, Ryder, and Dog Bite. Where do you think they from? Hayes Street. I grew up Spider, and I know Dog Bite from when I was a little baby. And they were killed by police. Why all of them come with Hayes Street? We had 3 guys who were killed by police, lived on Hayes Street. Okay? That's how serious the set of criminals come on Hayes Street. And these some of the set who come on our wing, James Charles and myself. The only guy I brought up in that area was James Charles. Chucky was ever a street guy. But all the rest, like Mouche, Boomer, Sharky, my cousin Julian, Popeye, Sex, all of them, they came under my realm because we were basically family. All of them was my family, like Julian, Popeye, the Keegan Kervy, all of them were my family. So that's why I had a strong clique, because we were basically family, so it was crazy. So you guys, and gangs, it ain't about the gangs today, society. The gangs ain't the gang like how we thinking it is. These just individuals who have their time and they have a little crew. And then eventually, if it fade off after a 3-year, 4-year period, after the police crack down or a few get killed, after they kill a few persons, but then eventually it breaks down. And guess what? These guys are not having nothing. Everyone break. Probably be big and, you're a top killer. But yet still you got to be asking people for $50 or $100. Huh? It's crazy. We're going to take this 1 or 2 calls before the show over. Go ahead, caller. We have a few minutes for place. You could rub it in real quick. I'm sorry for taking so long. Go ahead, caller. I'm sorry, callers. They still there? Go ahead, caller. I think they left. You have a next caller? Yeah, so like I said, to the guys who growing up in the country, you have a better life. Look how my life changed around. I'm doing so much change that I've been involved with since I changed my life. I'm 50 years of age, and I ain't supposed to be living. I'm not in prison. I've been shot at over 27 times. I brought some of the most roughest and toughest, dangerous persons who coming in the country. Now, that was then. But now, the nicest person you could ever meet. I've worked with urban renewal, helping establish urban renewal. I've helped establish the urban design lab, which deals with the Overall, which switched to the Overall initiative. I work with the development of local government to come into fruition in the inner city community. I work with the small business development to get small business come a reality in the country. Okay? I work with the legislation of the legal marijuana. I work with the Ministry of National Security on many different programs that have been introduced to government that government is doing right now that are part of their curricula that they're doing right now as part of the inner city development when it comes to cleaning, repairing homes, small business, cleaning up the community, and building up stronger communities. And they're the things that I've been working on in the last 25 years when I gave up that life. I've contributed greatly to programs and to use my voice as a way to deter and to encourage people to go out there and let's do whatever we can to help uplift the next citizen in the country. Who was that? We completely out of time? Yeah. So, like I say, guys out there, and to the females, you ladies are beautiful out there, okay? There's a better way of life for the ladies, okay? A lot of you y'all feel like, like that there's nothing happening for you guys, and I can understand that because there's no empowerment that is really benefiting the vast majority of Bahamian citizens in the country, okay? Even though the government is doing good with the investment that they're getting from abroad, nationally. But overall, there's not much investment happening in the country, so a lot of people are unemployed. They don't know what field of work they want to go into. They are like stagnated, where they have given up on looking for work. So we have to bring it to the people and encourage them to become small business owners and encourage them to learn trades and encourage them, as much as possible and build up stronger communities that these individuals can thrive in. They can make a living in their community, you know what I mean? They don't need to go to the community. There are a lot of things that we could do in the community, So, like I said, that's the only thing I say, I feel, and I say can make a difference. Because in my little small community, I'm developing these things. Slowly but surely, I'm developing small business. The cleanup program is still going on. I'm working with Mark Congress to introduce small business in the community. I'm paying for it. And I'm going to help 20 persons this year to become small business owners with a small grant that I'm going to assist them with personally in the community. And then we can do next year after that, God spell, if we do next 20 more. So we're looking to establish at least about 40 to 50 small businesses in the next 2 to 3 years in the inner city community of Lewis Street, H Street, and Taylor Street. And in return, we're going to be able to come up with solutions to fix our problem in our community and work together and come together and pool together and become stronger as a community to combat the poverty, to combat the guys coming out of prison that are coming back in the community. We need to find a solution so that when they come out, they don't wreak havoc again when they come back out in the community that we already made progress in. So we have to have an alternative, and that's what we're doing. We have to look at those guys who come out of the prison, have them on record, and have an alternative in the community to find a solution where we could help them and incorporate them into something where they could be a part of and use their aggression to change their mindset and become a productive citizen. Okay? So all the guys out there, let me tell you, you're not going to make it. You're pulling that trigger, you're not going to make it. You get away today, you get blind from God. You get away a second time, and you still think you're going to get away with it, one day it's going to be your day. And I just want to remind everyone, a lot of you guys, do you all buy all coffin? Huh? A lot of you involved in crime out there. From what Mr. Watson tell me, he tell me how he's take the constituency money, right? The $150,000 he get to help bury about he's saying 10, 15 people a year in the Bean and Grandstand community, and many who get shoot, and who are shooters, who are killers, right? When they die, they leave no money whatsoever. Top killers, killing all kind of people, all kind of shooting. But yet still their parents, their mother got to come on TV. And this is no disrespect to the mom, because I'm just talking naturally. And their mom's going to come on TV and ask the general public for money to bury them. So what sense you being bad? You know what being bad is? Taking responsibility for your children. Taking responsibility to seeing your mom, who been helping you from day one. Okay? Who been buying your tennis, buying a little food, paying a little internet bill, paying the light bill, all these things for you. And yet still, you know, even though it's tough, you still want to try your best to be a productive citizen. I know the odds are against you, but still try and look at your mom. And if you were in this type of situation and you see that does not benefit you, gradually find something positive to go into, okay? To change your mindset. You know, go look at the small business development that the government has to offer. Talk to a local pastor. You understand? Stay away from persons who can influence you to do wrong to other people, because one day it will come back to you. There's nothing you're going to do in this life and think you're going to get away with it. Okay? As long as you have the intention to keep on harming persons, one day, your day will come. And that has nothing to do with the flesh. It has something to do with what goes around, comes around. You understand? Just like if you cheat on your girlfriend and she's a good woman, eventually you cheat on her and you keep cheating, one day she could find out, and that good woman could turn on you. Just the same matter if you have a good man, woman of a good man, and she's cheating on him, eventually, they could find out and they could go against you. Now, same person who love you with all their heart and all their desire will eventually turn their back on you. And that person right there was the one person in the world who really cared about you. So again, like I said, I'm knowing so many guys out there who are top gangsters and all are dead. Dead bad, ain't working. All right? And again on this, if you're doing badness, family members, friends, don't go in the car. Because you could be targeted in your life, could be forfeit because of the stupidity of someone who hurt somebody. Now they're looking for him, abuse a friend, and you just want to borrow the car or you want to lend them your car. And when you lend them your car, individuals follow them. Stay away from people who are involved in firearms or so-called gangs, okay? It's about preserving your life and keeping your family and friends safe. Because when guys come back looking for individuals, like I said, they can't control the shots coming out the gun. And like I said, they don't want to hurt some innocent. They don't want to hurt their grandmothers. They don't want to hurt no babies. But just through the crossfire of the shots coming out the gun, these things happen. But it happened because the person who these individuals are looking for are sitting on there playing domino, and you're afraid to tell them leave. You're afraid to tell them leave, okay? Or come to your house, or hanging up in the yard. You're afraid to talk and tell them, hey, look here, man, you're hot. Please, man, go someplace else because I know guys looking for you and I don't want no harm come to me and my family. There's no disrespect to you. It's just that the word is on the streets. Or if you see someone who guys looking for, leave the club. You understand? And if you involved in any one of these individuals, male or females, distance yourself. Just distance yourself. That's the only thing I can say. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to my good friend Elroy Bryce. I tell you, he's a old crook, but he changed his life around. To all the callers, I hope you had a wonderful time listening to the show. And like I said, stay away from doing harm to people. All right? Think twice. Give people the blind, guys. Because if you do that, God will allow you to live longer. But if you keep it up, trust me, buy a coffin. Because one day, hey, it could be you. Simple as that. All right? So I hope I give you some advice. All my friends gone. All who was bad boys, terrorists, all in their coffin. None die old age. None see 50. None see 45. Everyone going 35, 36. None see 50. Only James Charles is living today, who was leader. Everyone else gone. That's over 50, 60 guys, people. All got killed. Their coffin right now probably have lone bullets in it. Okay? And I supposed to be dead over 20-something times. And I supposed to be spending a lifetime in prison. You understand, people? So God saves you. Always remember that, yeah? Being bad doesn't pay. Be a good moral citizen. And you'll see the kingdom of the Father come on you. And then you will be able to help so much people. And your life will completely change. You'll be so happy with your life. Okay? Everything will change for you. A bright life will come in your life. Give up the badness. Okay? I'm your host, Valentino Brown, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City. I'll see you next week on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Thank you for listening.
Boy, I from Dayton, bro. Ah, my son, that boy, what happened? Straight to the main line, boy.